Tom, Vincent. Thank you so much for having me in your absolutely banging pizzeria. Me and my friend Raz came, I think 2-3 weeks ago. Mate, that raging hog thing is something I've never fucking experienced in my life. It's so delicious. I was smashing it back. I've been watching what you've been doing from afar for ages, so I'm super grateful and excited to do this today, mate.
Right, thank you for coming. Thanks for coming to see us. Thanks for coming last week. Glad you liked the raging hog. That was something I worked on during lockdown, and started making the chili honey with Scotch bonnets, and just found the right pepperoni for it, and it just worked. And it's like the name actually. I was thinking raging hog. I wanted to call it the raging bull.
Yeah.
But it's the pepperoni's pork, so I thought raging hog.
Well, gave me the raging horn, mate.
Is it? It's like a household name now.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit daft at first. You know?
No. It's the best. No, really good. And then obviously, I think my mate just got the original, the
margarita.
The pepperoni, just straight
pepperoni.
Yeah, which was just we loved it, and the sauces were all absolutely delicious as well.
Thank you. Yeah, we make all the sauces in house, like the ranch dressing and the chili honey and everything like that. Yeah.
We're going to get on to the pizzeria, how you've built this, but what I'd love to start with, mate, is you said you're obsessed with history. I've done a bit of a mooch on Instagram.
Yeah.
You said I'm obsessed with history, and you said on one video, you said this is almost like the forgotten pizzeria.
That's right, yeah.
And then I've also looked on Instagram where you have these interesting posts. I find these fucking things really interesting. It's just like Bygone London.
Yeah.
So you've got the old school laundrette in Bushy, which is like Bygone London. I think you've
were they on when you scroll down on mine?
Yeah. But there's
you keep going, you'll see.
Yeah, I go all the way.
I see some holiday pics.
Yeah. I certainly did, Sam. But I think I love. Everyone's got a weird kind of obsession with things, and you talked about like you're obsessed with history. Obsessed with, as I said, those things that were forgotten. So Bygone London is those almost laundrettes that no longer exist.
Yeah, that's right.
Where did your obsession with history begin, I suppose? And then why are you obsessed with things that have been forgotten, and how does that inform what you do here? Do you know what I mean?
I think a lot of it is nostalgia.
Yep.
Watch it for me. So I love old signs. If an old shop sign to me, is like. I love it. It's like it looks like a piece of art to me, and like there's a picture I've got at home of me, my mum, my sister, and my brother, and we're walking down the street at the local shops where we grew up, and it looks the same, but you can see the old shop signs in it. And I just love that picture. So I don't know, like it was only taken in the probably 1989 or something, but it looks like it was from the 70s. I don't know. I just like things like that. Films. I was obsessed with things like Goodfellas and even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If I'm watching a film, of a New York film from the 80s or something like that, I'm looking out. I might be looking at what's going on in the street or what the street signs look like and stuff like that. I don't know why. I just love.
Yes, it's almost like looking at things, noticing things that no one else really notices.
Yeah, I wanted to be a set designer at one point. So, to go on like a film set where they were making. I don't know, something, I would be obsessed with that. I'd love to get involved in something like that. I didn't, I went down another avenue, but there was a time where that was what I wanted to do, I guess.
What pulled you into, what fascinated you about set design?
Making things, I've always made things. I was actually, at university, I'd done like model making, so like it was set design, it was architectural models and stuff like that. So I guess that and just films really.
Mm. And then what, out of all the films you've watched, what are some like the most banging sets in your opinion?
Back to the Future 2.
Haven't had to watch
it. The film set on Back to the Future is at the Universal Studios, and they've used it for like Gremlins. They've used it for maybe Monster Squad. They use it. Do you know what I mean? They've used it for a lot of films. So I love that sort of thing. You've never seen Back to the Future 2?
Not the second one, mate. No.
Wow. Do you know like the trainers that he has, the Nike mags and stuff like that? The almanac. I'm just obsessed with stuff like that. Even like. The business cards, like on American. You seen American Psycho?
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah, the business cards. Like, I'll pause that and look at the business. Do you know what I mean? I just love details.
Yes.
Love details.
Because what I'm trying to understand is how, because there's a lot of detail in what you're creating with the pizza. Right?
Yeah.
There's fucking I think that what I experienced when I tried your pizza, mate, is it's like a 1,000 little things that have all added together and done create this completely unique
That's
pizza.
right, yeah.
But and we're going to get into it. But I'm trying to understand the way your brain works, I suppose, and this obsession with detail, and then with the history side of things, like because you were a teacher beforehand, weren't you?
I was a teacher for about 8 years. I've done a lot of things. I've done, like my dad's a plasterer. I've worked with him. I worked with carpenters. I was a woodwork teacher, food tech teacher. Yeah, so.
And then where did the obsession with history?
I wasn't obsessed with history at school, but I mean, I'm more like pop culture history.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So for instance, with the pizzas, it was about 10 years ago there was a show called The Pizza Show on Netflix with Frank Pinello, and
He's got just on YouTube as well. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, it wasn't on Netflix. It was on YouTube.
Yeah, man, I've watched all that.
Yeah,
that's like that's all like the munch. It was the munchies thing.
Munchies. Yes.
Yeah,
so he goes to all these old places,
Yeah.
the Faras, Luigi's and stuff like that. And I was like, I've got to go to these places, And then you hear the stories about them and stuff like that. And then you delve a bit deeper. And there's ones that were open at the turn of the century where the Italian immigrants were coming over. They didn't have wood fire ovens like they have in Naples. They had coal ovens. They didn't have 00 flour. They had bread flour. They didn't have wood, they had coal, and they used what they had. And that to me was like, that's a true like immigration story, and there's real history to that. So I was obsessed with those sort of places. Like here, I don't know if you can see that, but that's Lombardi's. That's meant to be the first pizzeria in America.
Really?
It's been disputed, it's not, but like the story, but it has a story that
What is because I read there was 2 books I saw you reading. Again, I've done a fucking mooch on Instagram here, but it was like Pizza: A Slice of American History, and one of the other ones escaped me. But like, what is the history of American pizza? Like, how does it go back in time? Like, how did it all start?
I think a lot of
like New York specifically, kind of.
New York, but everyone says New York, but I think New Haven maybe was like a town, a city that had more of it, a lot more of it going on, and people don't realise.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Colin Kaplan, who's he's like a university lecturer. He does a lot of things, but he's in New Haven, and he wrote a book on New Haven and history. He's a historian, and the timeline of that is just so interesting. It's actually a lot more detail than the New York one. And some of the New York ones are like there's a bit like Lombardi's. It's it can be debunked that maybe it wasn't. There was one before that, or maybe a bakery was making pizza, but it wasn't called a pizzeria. That sort of thing.
But because you went to New York, or you went on a trip with this Colin bloke, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I went to last time I went to New York. I reached out to Colin, or he reached out to me actually, and he said, "Do you want to come on a tour?" Went on a tour with him, and had a great day. He took me to all the places, answered every question I had. It was fascinating.
What is that timeline like? Roughly, like how did pizza come?
Well, that on there says 1905. I think the Italian immigrants were coming maybe 20 years before that. I don't know, like, and I don't want to like, I'm not very good with dates, but and a lot of them were bakers, so they were finding bakeries that were already existed, or they were building bakeries. I think they maybe had Dutch people building ovens for them, and they were just started to bring pizza in, and they were from the area around Naples.
Yep.
Now, pizza in Italy wasn't like it was now. It wasn't everywhere. It was only in that region. People in Milan didn't know what pizza was around that time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it came to America before it went to the rest of Italy.
What's the immigrants are going over?
So I understand it.
Yeah. I just find it fucking interesting. So Naples, so Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah.
That was happening in Naples,
in a very
Italy.
small area, and then it was also.
And it went to New York before.
Before it went to the rest of Rome and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like a peasant dish in Naples that bakers started doing it with scraps of dough or something like that. Maybe they were using it to test the oven out, and then we can make it into a pizza, and then later on they started adding tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, and stuff like that. Maybe it was just a flatbread first, but and that was like Queen Margarita or whatever. They made that for her, but then by the time it came to America, it was in the East Coast, so it was in like places like New Haven and New York. and it was only within the Italian community there, so no one else would go there. So like, you know, I don't know, but you know, America has this way of having great immigration stories and people loving really getting involved. Like when I went, if in New York, if you go to like Greenpoint, for instance, you'll walk past loads of Polish places. You go in there, you get pierogies, and they're amazing. And people, YouTubers are going there, Instagrammers and stuff like that, and it's really like championed. If there was there's not, I can count maybe 2 Polish restaurants I've seen in England. People probably walk past them. Why don't people? I think soon or later people will pick up on things like that. People here, it's like Indian food, Chinese food's really popular. Like later on, things like Vietnamese and stuff like that. But I don't know, we're not as.
Yeah, I think London's pretty good in the grand scheme of things, though. I mean, I did a bit of work with an Irish company. There's no fucking curry houses in Ireland.
Is there not?
How crazy is that? They've got loads of Chinese.
They have loads of Chinese. And they have spice bags and all that.
Yeah. So it's like, mate, there's
no curry house.
Well, there is like, it's not like, like now we've got your local curry house.
I imagine in the cities, like the cosmopolitan places.
Yeah, no, but mate, I was in Dublin. I was in Dublin.
Really?
And I was like, mate, is there a good curry house around here? He was like, mate, there's not really a curry house.
That's crazy.
I was like, this is fun. And they're like big, they're chefs. They used to, they had a sick restaurant, like a pop-up restaurant in Ireland. They both worked in restaurants in Ireland. Katie and Jasper, they're good mates of mine. But yeah, but I still think you're right. Like London is like, because I remember, so like, Sri Lankan food's now massive. I remember 10 years ago it was like, when Bowen Hoppers came on the scene, people were like, what the fuck's that? Even Vietnamese, people like, that was new. And then I think you get these new ideas. I think London,
a cluster, like around Kingsdown Road and all that.
And then it comes up, and people become more obsessed with the food. And even now, I think with yourself and Crisp, you're reinventing pizza here. You're at all those stories that you've done, that we've talked about in New York and stuff. You'll bring them here, and you're giving it a whole, like, pizza's now becoming fucking through you two guys. It's getting a whole new lease of life.
I guess it's there's like a new wave of pizza now, I guess, because like we had Neapolitan pizza here that was like, Franco Manca came, and then there was Pizza Pilgrims and stuff like that, and there was a few doing New York pizza, but I don't think they were doing it very well. But then again, I wouldn't say that mine is New York pizza now, and I wouldn't say Crisp is New York pizza either. His is very unique. But it's definitely influenced by that, because like we're friends, and like we were like during lockdown, we were both talking about what we're going to do and this and that, and I know New York is the influence, and it is for me. But it comes, we're closer to the source of Italy. We've got the ingredients a lot closer, so we're using like really good top quality ingredients. Where if you go to New York, for instance, you'll see a pizzeria that'll have those aluminium pans stacked up. They usually keep the dough in the fridge. There's a new wave of places in New York that are doing it more like what we're doing. If you see a pizzeria that's got dough trays and they're dotted out like a Neapolitan, but they're doing a New York pizza, you can normally tell that it's going to be really good because they're doing something.
So what's the tray?
So if you go to a Neapolitan pizzeria, they have like trays that are like rectangles and they've got all the dough balls in them.
Yep.
Okay, that's a Neapolitan like way of making pizza. In New York, they have these aluminium pots where they keep one dough ball in them.
Okay, yeah.
But if you see one in New York that's got the trays, it usually, to me, is a sign that their pizza is maybe a hybrid. It's either a new type of pizza, like L'Industrie, Lucia, Mama's 2, they're all using the trays, or it's one of the old ones. So like if you go to New Haven, go to Frank Pepe's, Sally's, or even Lombardi's and stuff like that, they're using the old trays as well. So the ones that are using the metal tins are the ones that are in between. They're like the 1970s. They're like the classic New York slice. They're more like the utility style pizza. For me, if you see those trays, it's a sign that
they know what they're all about.
It might be really. It's probably better.
How's your pizza? Because I believe like everyone's got an inspiration, right? So like everyone fucking. David Bowie's got a quote I love, which is the only art I'll ever steal is the only art I'll ever study is the art I can steal from. And obviously, he's the most original guy around.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So he's basically saying like he goes, he was watching loads of different music and stuff. You put it all together, bang, 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 and then that's Vincenzo's. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, what's the inspirations you took from all the different restaurants in your time in America? But then how did you add the Tom piece of de resistance?
Well, I guess, yeah. My first inspiration was seeing these, the New York places, the family-run, family-run New York slice shops.
Yeah.
And
how long ago was this? Like, when did you get into pizza?
Probably 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I started going over there with my girlfriend who works over there a lot. So I was just jumping on trips with her and stuff like that. And I was going to these places, and then I found out about the old ones, the old coal oven places, the really old, the original. They call it the original. I think it's the original 5 in New York. They got Patsy's, they got Lombardi's, Totonno's, John's of Bleecker, and maybe Grimaldi's, and these are all like the old school coal oven ones that use the pizza in the trays, like I said, the dough balls in the trays and stuff like that. And I found those ones even more interesting. Okay, and what I found really interesting is that they're the first generation of Italian immigrants. So what they're making is they're trying to recreate what they were doing at home.
Yeah.
Okay, so that pizza, I suspect at that time, was really good quality, better quality than what the ones in the 70s were, maybe more rustic, and I think it got lost along the way as like mass production came along and stuff like that. And then with me, my inspiration is those old places. Yeah. Okay. But I think by default, now that I have these good ingredients available to me, and I'm using, them sort of trays, I'm cooking in a higher temperature, I feel like my pizza, perhaps, is like that pizza. Well, I imagine it's like that, even though I don't know, I haven't got a time machine.
Yeah, well, that's what you said,
and
mate.
That's my inspiration, is like in my head to think about what the pizza was like back then. What was it like? I'm guessing. Yeah, there's some pictures, but that's my inspiration. If that makes sense. Yeah. My inspiration is like a nostalgia, a maybe misplaced nostalgia that I'm imagining in my head.
It's
wild, but
but I love that, mate. It's as you're saying, it's the forgotten. As we talked right at the beginning, it's the forgotten pizzeria. And I think there's something. And you said I've always been obsessed with like pop culture and pop history, going back in time. And I think going back and almost asking the question of like, what would this have felt like with the trays? Yeah, and the fucking like how it tastes. Do you know what I mean? Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Honestly, means the absolute world to me. I'd be so grateful for a small favour, please. It is so hard growing a YouTube channel. It is so bloody hard. If you please enjoy these videos, just click the subscribe button. More subscribers equals bigger guests equals better conversations, and hopefully you can learn more as you build your food and drink brand. Thank you so much. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you got like the original 5. They're still going. Yeah. You got all the new places.
So is their pizza changed?
How many went along the wayside? That no one knows about, and I was like, maybe Vincenzo's is like one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes, and then because I did a trip to New York. I was actually in New York last year. Staying in Connecticut, so not a million miles.
Did you go to New Haven?
No, I wasn't. I was literally there I had a podcast over there.
They've got a really good burger. One of the original hamburger places called Lou's Lunch, where it's just meat in between 2 slices of bread. It's meant to be the first hamburger in America. I think that's been debunked. They'll get debunked.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of history, and it is amazing. Yeah.
Really, what's so good about the burger?
It just tastes like a bit of steak. It's just.
But it's a ground up patty.
Yeah, it's a big thick one, and they put it between like these cast iron grates, and they put it in these like toasters that are 100 years old. They haven't changed them, and they just put a bit of onion on it, and then it has no sauce, but it's just juicy. It's really good. Yeah. And
then so you got these 5 original pizza places that have this kind of OG style, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
You've got this harking to go back to the forgotten pizzeria, which I think as a concept's sick.
Yeah.
And then then I suppose the way yours is different is you've got access to these banging ingredients because we're closer to the thing.
Yeah.
How did you like from your idea of having an obsession with pizza? How did you actually go to like taking the steps to beginning to follow that thing?
So I was going to New York back and forth meeting up with people, you know, making connections. There's Luigi's, which is one of the most famous ones. There's a guy called Gio who owns it, and I went and like he gave me some of his time, sat down with him, showed him, you know, all the pictures on my phone of the pizzas I was making, and you know, he gave me some advice, told me what was crap and what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was really helpful. And
what did he say? Like, where were you going wrong?
So I was like, oh, so this is a 16-inch pizza. He's like, nah, that's 14-inch. Do you know what I mean? He was just sort of like, don't give me none of that bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But he just sort of said like, he gave me some just advice, like, you know, love what you do, and that sort of stuff. But it was little things like that along the way give you confidence to do it, because you're going, oh, can I do it? When will I start? And you know what I mean? And I know what I want to make and stuff like that. I get it. People come in here all the time. The amount of people that come in here and say, I want to start a pizzeria. And I think they come and they want to observe and see the confidence that's going on in here, because, you know, we're just flinging them out. We're talking to people. We're doing this. We're doing that. And sometimes that helps. It's just coming in and seeing something.
Yeah, well, that's why my mate's like the guy I came with. He like loves pizza, and what he was interested in how you learn to make banging pizza.
Yeah.
And did you get like a Gosling oven or?
Taught myself. No, I didn't get a Gosling oven. I've got one now. They sent me one.
Yeah.
They sent me a beautiful one. But their stuff's amazing, by the way. Their the quality of their products. But no, I built. There's a picture of it up there actually. I built a brick oven. So I went to Naples, and. Yeah. I'm obsessed with like making things, like I said. So
how many years ago is this before the shop?
That's about 10 years ago, I reckon.
Okay, so this has been like a burning passion for fucking ages.
Yeah. And well, I was always into food. Like there was a point where I went to Mexico and I wanted to make tacos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's sort of like, you know, like a spinning wheel. It just stopped on pizza. So yeah, but so I went there and I'm looking at the ovens and. I'm getting it. I have to almost stick my head in the oven to have a look, you know, to see how it's built. And while I was a teacher, I was like, you know, researching how to build the oven. I sourced a load of fire bricks and stuff like that, and then built the oven, and then just started making pizza for friends and family. You know, found a guy actually in America that I was really inspired by called Joe Badea. He's got a place called Pizzeria Badea, and. Just started looking at his pizza and found his recipe, started making his pizza his way, and then I was like, I'm going to take this out, I'm going to change this. So I guess it sort of adapted from there. And so I started making, and I wanted to make this New York style pizza, and doing it in a brick oven is really quite tricky.
How so?
Because in a brick oven, a wood fire oven, a Neapolitan oven, it's super hot. You cook a pizza in about 90 seconds, which is why it's soft and floppy, because it cooks really quick. Leaves a lot of moisture in there.
So that pizza is a Neapolitan oven.
What is a Neapolitan oven? But I was cooking New York style pizza.
So you were trying to make New York pizza in that.
Yes.
Okay, sick. Okay, so the Neapolitan oven's not as hot, and that's what makes it a bit floppy.
No, it's hotter. It's way hotter.
Oh, it's way hotter. But
it's way hotter. Cooks it
quicker, but it gives the moisture.
It keeps the moisture in.
Right.
Now, if my oven in the pizza shop here is about a third.
Of that heat.
Yeah. No, maybe 2/3 of that heat, which means the pizza cooks slower. It takes out more of the moisture and it crisps up without burning it. You know, if I left my pizza in the Neapolitan oven for 4 minutes, like I'm cooking it, it'd be burnt to a crisp. So I had to play around with the heat. I had to play around with the hydration. There's a lot of trial and error in getting it how I wanted to get it. But when it comes to like the skill of making the pizza, I don't know. I had worked in restaurants. I was a chef I worked in kitchens from the age of about 14 to maybe 19. So I was started off as a pot washer, but then I was making pizza in places like Frankie and Benny's and stuff like that. Which although like it's not great pizza, I knew what to do roughly with the dough, you know, to get it flat. I didn't know how to get it how I wanted it to look. You know, they used to use rolling pins and stuff like that, but I knew how to hold the dough. I knew what to do and stuff like that. So all those sort of things helped. And when I started making the pizza, I basically it started going right pretty quick.
How so? Like as in,
I didn't have many. the first pizza I made looked really good.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is like I couldn't do it as quick as I could do it now, but I could do it. Yeah. I don't know. I just managed to pull it off.
Well, it's almost like all those things that you'd led up to that moment. It's like you had the woodwork at working as a chef, 14 to 19. You said you used to do woodwork and set design, you're almost applying those lessons from set design to building that oven.
Yeah.
And then like a passion for food.
It's almost like I had a lot of potential energy stored up, and when it came out, it all just came out at the right time.
What were some of the other things you'd done in the run-up to doing the pizza? Or some of the other weeks? You said you'd done loads of different jobs.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I was a chef. Worked on building sites. My dad's a plasterer, and see these like this wall here, like I plastered this wall. I wanted like lime plaster. You know when you see like an old Italian restaurant or like in a film, you never really see them, but you see them in films, like the film Leon, for instance. The walls in that film. I thought I want the
Leon. Is that the geezer with the
glasses?
Yeah, the glasses.
Yeah.
The assassin.
Yeah.
That's a sick film.
Do you remember about maybe 5 years ago? Everyone like in East London looked like that, didn't they?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah.
It was
putting these on like this.
Yeah. But the walls in the restaurant had all the pictures on the wall. I thought I want it to look like that, you know. And so I said to my dad, "Can you do lime plaster on the walls?" And he was like, "I haven't done it since the 70s." You know, he's nearly retired, but
lime plaster.
Lime, so it's lime.
Yeah.
So it's basically where they'd use in ancient Rome and stuff like that. And you've got like they call it now stucco or Venetian plaster. You know, a lot of like wags, footballers' wives might have it in the house. You'd have seen it, but a lot of it's really polished, and I didn't want it looking like that. So I've researched my own plaster mix, mixed it up myself. And I was like, "Dad, I need you to help me put it on the wall." And he was like, "It's not going to work, Tom. It's going to look rubbish." And he didn't really like want to touch it because it wasn't what he was used to. But we got it on the wall, it looks
banging.
Yeah, I was really, really happy with it. And sometimes I come up with ideas and he doesn't quite, understand why I'm doing it until and then later on he's like, "Oh yeah, I see what you were going for."
I see exactly.
So yes, I've done some so I knew how to do plastering.
Painting as well. So these are your paintings on the wall.
Oh yeah.
So because what I'm trying to do, I suppose, mate, is like link. One of the things that fascinates me is a lot of people ask me is like, how do people get to where they are?
Yeah,
like,
I go off on tangents a lot.
No, mate. So those are the best podcasts.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like, I'm literally I'm very scatty. Because I love trying to thread the needle of like how did we work it back? How did you get here? So when did you get into painting, and what does that give you?
I've always painted. I've always been into art. I've always been drawing, designing, and stuff like that. I don't know. I always wanted to do some oil paints, and I remember, I'm saying to my dad once, "Can we get some? I want to get some oil paints." And he said, "You don't want to use oil paints. They're really hard to do. Get some acrylics instead." And I've done that, and I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy it. But then I thought, no, I'm going to buy some oil paints. And it's actually a lot easier because if you get it wrong, you can come back to it the next day. And so basically, as soon as I started doing these oil paintings, the results were good. This was probably the second painting I ever done, and it come out. It's almost like a fluke, but it comes out really good. It's like if you look at it at a different angle, his eyes are always on you and stuff like that. But I've done those.
Wait, who is that?
That's Paulie from Goodfellas.
Yeah.
So. And people come in the shop. They go, Some people come just to see that painting. People like I get Sopranos fans that will turn up, and it's because they've heard about the painting and they've seen it and they'll want to see it. And people have offered me a lot of money for that painting.
Yeah.
And, I don't.
Fuck off, mate. It's my painting.
Well, if someone offers you $5,000 for it, it's like you can make that money making the pizza in a couple of days. But that took me. Well, it took me about 2 days to do it, but then I kept going back over it. So it was a process of about 2 weeks.
So when I came in with my mate, I don't know, there was a Giorgio Romero, I don't know the name of it. There's a Moroder song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I come in here and to set the scene or paint the picture, for listeners, is that you're in here with your I was going to say mates, they're your team basically.
Yeah.
Super small restaurant. That Giorgio Moroder song is fucking banging out. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Like you're making the pizzas. The customers are coming in. It feels like what is the similarities? What's the feeling you get when you paint? Yeah, and how is that similar and different to the feeling you get when you bang out pizza?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Making the pizza sometimes it's anxiety or adrenaline.
Yes.
Keeps going. Okay, because we open at 4:15. I will get here. There'll be people outside from 3:45. Oh my God, But they would say, we've turned up from Manchester. And it's like, great, there's a pub next door. Can you give me... Because as a chef, you need like the ritual. You need to go to the toilet. You need to make sure you've got your mise en place set up. You need to maybe sit down for 5. I don't smoke, but have a fag or whatever you've got to do. I don't get that here. So, and then it hits, and then people are turning up, and you're doing it on adrenaline, and it can be really enjoyable, but it can be really draining as well. But with the paintings, before I had the shop, I was doing this at a pub, and when my sort of tenure ended at the pub, I was out of work for about a year, and I was planning the shop. I was looking for a premises, and that's when I started doing these paintings, and that was a lot calmer for me. That was a real calm time in my life. I didn't work. Just had the money I'd saved to start this shop, and some of it was dwindling away because I was like living off of it as well. But I would just be at home, put some classical music on, get the easel out, and start painting these paintings. So that was very calm, and that was. I look back on that part of my life and think, oh man, I'd love to go back there. I would love to do some more paintings. I'd actually love to be a painter.
Yeah, mate. Well, they're sick. And so, is that other one yours there?
Yeah, this one here.
What's that one? That's sick.
That is. This one I can't claim the full credit for because this was on the front cover of the New Yorker magazine. Yeah. So this is my rendition of someone else's painting. It was on the front cover of the magazine, and I was fascinated by it. And I was like, I want to paint that. So yeah, I just had a go at painting it.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
But yeah, but that's been done before. But this one's a complete original. Again, when we talk about films, so you see that one up there, the Atlantic?
Yeah. That's
like a fictional magazine from the Ghostbusters film. The original one.
Yeah, okay?
Yeah. And those sort of classic institutional magazines you get, like Time magazine and stuff like that. That's like a fictional one of those. And when I was a kid, I used to always pause the film to look at that, and then I'd try and draw it. So when I saw the new,
so that's your drawing.
No, that's not my drawing. No, but I found that online. It's like a fan art thing or something of from the film.
Yeah.
But when I saw that with the New Yorker on it, I was like, I want to paint that. So yeah, I get fixated on things.
Yeah. Same here. Like, what was it that pulled you to that painting? Because I like, for me, I like the. I think listeners can see it. That one there, what's pulling me to that is the brown doors and the brown walls. I don't know why, but it is. Like, what pulled you to that painting?
Yeah, it looks a bit mid-century, I guess, the decor, but well, it's Tony Soprano with his therapist, isn't it? And he's walking out the door. So
see you later, boy.
But like I say, I painted that. And but that's not my original idea for the painting. That was someone else's.
And then you talked about the stress of service and stuff like that. Yeah. And how do you? Because I think lots of people want to. Well, as you said, you get those people coming here saying, "I want to follow my passion into," whether it's pizza or tacos or painting. There's often like a massive bit of stress that people don't really see. I vote with this, right? There's so much ag involved with this. People think it's a 2-hour chat. It's like there's hours behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like, what's been the fucking hardest day on your journey, mate? When you just felt like actually.
Some days I'm sick and I feel like I have to come into work and I feel like I'm so run down or I'm suffering with fatigue. And then that will be the day when people will turn up. Someone from New York will turn up, or Connecticut, or someone from Scotland or Manchester, and I'll tell them the story that I'm telling you today, maybe 5 times over the counter whilst making pizza, which I love doing. But when you're feeling ill, sometimes it is hard, and there's days like that once a week, And but saying that, I'm blessed that people come that want to know this, and they want to know the story, and Vincenzo's wouldn't be the same without me. I guess me talking to these people over the counter.
The story
like
spreads,
the cranky
mate.
Pizza man, whatever I don't know how they see me, but that's what I feel like sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I saw it with you when you were here the other day. But it's like the authentic, raw passion. Yeah. You're like, someone's calling you like, look, I can't change it. You didn't swear, but you're like, mate, I can't change your order, and it's like it is full fucking pace. Yeah. Like, people are coming in. I remember we were sat here. There's a guy being like, mate, I've come all the way from Crystal Palace. You're like, sorry, mate, we sold out in 3 minutes
That's
today.
constant. All day we're turning people away. And it's always the people that aren't following us on Instagram that are turning up. And I say, you're not following us on Instagram. They go, no, why? I say, well, because we keep everyone updated. We tell everyone we're sold out, and you know, yeah. But people are recommend. It's word of mouth is amazing. People say, "Oh, I was recommended you," and I was like, "Didn't the person that recommended you tell you that we sell out before we open?" You know, that'd be really helpful if they'd done that. But
no, but I want to get. We're definitely going to get onto the like why you keep it such limited numbers per day.
Yeah.
I think it's genius. But I'd love to go back into some of those harder days.
Okay.
Because
I
think
an example of.
Yeah, because I remember you saying to me before we hit record, like, you're doing all of this, and you said to me you've got, like, you struggle with insomnia.
Yeah.
Which I just think, mate, you're like a fucking superhuman pizza slinger. Like, how do you, when you get here, and I don't think this is what I'm trying to paint the picture quite literally of, do you know who Theo Von is, the comedian?
No.
He's a joker, mate. He's just hilarious. But he's like, he's so funny. But he's got a quote which I actually think is really good. It's like, once you achieve your dream, you've got to actually do your dream.
Yeah.
Which is actually, people think, oh my God, you're banging out pizzas all day, like you're following your dream, your passion. You've got this guy coming to photographer, photo
Take
you,
photos.
take fucking photos. Tomorrow, like, do you know what I mean? You got chasing status here.
Yeah.
Like, but I want to get into the hard days, like, yeah, and you struggle with this insomnia. So when you wake up in the morning, or if you wake up, if you haven't gone to sleep,
Yeah.
like, what do you feel like, and how do you just keep going?
Yeah, it's hard. Like the minute you wake up, you know, there's phone calls, there's messages on Instagram, there's emails, and it's you know, you're running the business. Plus, like, I employ 9 people, so being an employer is a full-time job. I do the social media, I do everything. But yeah, the insomnia is hard. I think if I slept every 8 hours a night, I'd probably have had 4 shops by now. You know, I would have moved a lot quicker. But you know, we're here. We're selling out every night. We're turning away so much. We're just because we're at max capacity. But yeah, the insomnia is hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and but you seem to be very stoic about how you just kind of get on with it.
Yeah, there's no choice. I'm in too deep now. You know.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep going. You know, I've got responsibilities. I'm an employer. You know, I can't. I've got staff that you know need to work.
Yeah. And how do you mitigate the stress with that, or like?
I'm a very bad delegator, but I'm learning, and I have been blessed with amazing staff.
Yeah.
Like from day one. One of my guys, he's been with me since the beginning, and since we opened the shop, and he's always been right by my side, and now he's amazing and a pizza maker, and starting to give him responsibility, but I didn't know how to give him responsibility. Anyone, you know, it took months of him just watching me and just being by my side before I could even say, right, do you want to make a pizza? Because I didn't feel like I had a second to stop and show him, because it was constant, and then the amount of people coming in and talking, and I was juggling so much. It was really hard. But
and how did you get? Because a lot of people listening to this will have their own business and stuff, and one of the common things is like, how the fuck do you delegate? How did you get good at like separating that?
I'm not good at it. I'm still bad at it. I'm a complete martyr. I'll do all of it. If, you know, like I find it easier to just bury my head and get on with it than stop and think and go, right, you should do this, you could do that. I don't know, it's just not in me. But I'm starting to learn. You know, I've got good people around me, my partner, some friends that will say, Tom, you know, slow down, do this, do that. You know, why don't you ask this person to do that? And I will. But it takes a while for me to realise that I need to do that. You know.
And so on that period of you making these pizzas in the pub, then you're finding this shop, what's been the hard period? Because I'm just trying to add some reality to, like, you see, you know, I eat this banging pizza, but there's a person behind the scene. What's been the hardest like moment for you?
From the minute I was at that pub, I was always looking for somewhere around.
Where was
here.
the boozer? Was it?
It was just down the road. It was called Load of Hay Pub, and it had a little hatch. It was like perfect, you know. And, But when I came to the end of being there, I was looking, from the time I was there, I was looking for a shop around this area. And what's hard, it's really hard to find somewhere, you know, like unless you've got a letting agent or something like that. But I'd find an empty shop. There'd be a sign, I'd phone up. You just wouldn't get anywhere. I kept getting dead ends. Or a lot of near misses. Like I thought I found the perfect shop, but the council wouldn't give me permission to put an extractor in. Or the residents were moaning about the parking or something like that, and it got refused. Things like that, you know, it's really hard. People come in here all the time. Why haven't you got a bigger shop? Why don't you get a bigger shop, Tom? And it's like, it took me 2 years to find this place, you know? So you have no idea how hard it is for someone who's on their own. You know, I don't have a partner. I've only got one head that's doing everything. So it's really hard to find somewhere. So yeah, but being like it would be great if I had a partner, you know, someone to share half the jobs with, but no, I don't.
And how did you not give up on your? Because loads of people in that situation be like, right, I can't find anywhere. The dream gaff's gone.
Yeah.
How did you what was your dream that was pulling you through all of that?
Oh, because I'd already built up the brand. I already had the brand. I had the following in the pub. I'm probably built up 7,000 followers or something around that time. People were coming to the pub from all over London, all over the country. Then, you know, so but I knew I had something, you know.
Yeah.
And then what spurred me on is other people were popping up doing similar things, you know.
Other pizza places.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I've made a mark there. I need to get back into it, you know, so I was like, yeah, I can't leave this, you know. The plan was always to keep going. I was never going to give up, but it was just hard to find somewhere, and there was a point where I thought I'm never going to find anywhere, you know, so I found this place, and I thought this place is tiny. It's not going to be big enough, and it's big enough to have a good business, but it's not big enough to meet the demand.
Well, that's what I was going to say is, and we're going to get onto that in a sec, the demand bit, because of when I'm like kind of, it's a ballsy move to turn people away.
Yeah.
Fuck, like, but I suppose the beauty of it is that it creates this like scarcity, and it's like the hype, and people are like, oh, did you get? I remember straight away I was whacking all over my Instagram like, oh, I got my mitts from some Vincenzo.
Yeah.
Like, wait, do you know what I mean?
well, people think it's a marketing strategy. There's been in comment sections and posts and stuff. People have been saying, oh, it's a marketing strategy, scarcity marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, it was just my mixer is so big, I can make so much dough. I can run the mixer twice, but then I don't have anywhere to store that dough. You know, we only got so many fridges. I can't get a bigger mixer because I don't have three-phase power. The next mixer up that I needs three-phase power. It won't run on the power I have in this shop. The next bigger oven I needs, not only does it need more power, I need more space. There's no more space in here. So we're restricted with space and power in this shop. Then the next thing, I guess, is the people that moan, that say, Tom, why don't you make more pizza? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? They only want it at 7 o'clock, every night. They don't want it at 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you know. So it's between the hour of, say, 6:30 to 7:30 or to 8 o'clock. In that window, that's when I reckon I'm turning away as much or more than I'm taking. The people do not stop walking in from all over the place. Phone don't stop ringing. By the time I finish, I'll check my phone. I'll have WhatsApp messages, text messages, emails, Facebooks, Instagram, all people trying to order a pizza. You know? So, and then God knows how many people have gone on that website, you know, on my store kit, and we don't know. So, turning away a lot, but I cannot make any more. The oven won't fit any more in there. And a lot of them want it in the hours where even if we did make loads more, you can't fit any more in from the hours of 6:30 till like 8 o'clock without having a bigger setup, bigger oven, a bigger production line of chefs.
It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing in that, like, it's creating, I know it's not a marketing strategy, but it's creating that scarcity that...
I mean, I embrace it now, I guess, because...
But how much, so don't have to give exact numbers, but how much cash do you reckon ballpark you're turning away sometimes a week?
I don't know. I mean... I don't know. Like if you said to me, how much do you reckon you turned away last night? I'd probably say $5,000. I don't know. Like I don't know, but an estimate.
Yeah.
And that's
And then you said
just judging from the people that are walking in, phoning, and perhaps who's going on that website and going, oh, it says sold out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. And then you said that if I could sleep 8 hours a night, I would be at 4 stores.
Yeah.
What, like, why?
Well, I think if I had a lot more energy, I'd have this place running, you know, spick and span without me, and then I'd be out there finding the next place, you know, and then finding the next place and just rolling it out.
Is that what is the pizza dream, mate? Like
I think I'd be an idiot not to try and open another one. talking about inspiration. I was always inspired by these places in New York, with the like the fire and the old guy working in the pizza shop and stuff like that. And that's a romantic idea, but really in reality, I don't want to be an old man in this shop. I don't I think it would kill me,
Yeah.
So yeah, as romantic as it is, I think it's best if I do learn to delegate properly and roll out another one. Here, it'd be great if I could have a bigger premises here, because the local following here is incredible. Plus, people coming from all over. But yeah, next move would be in London, I guess, somewhere in London. But
Do you go into
yeah, you got to decide though whether you want one of them prime locations where the rent's ridiculous but you're just going to be so busy, or somewhere more, I don't know, like a little village, not a village, but like somewhere like
I was going to say,
North
because I was
London.
driving through Bushy, like, what is the advantage and disadvantage of being not in London?
I don't know. Here, it's densely populated with residents, so a lot of takeaway. This is a
you've got
takeaway
like
with a few seats,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But the amount of takeaway we do, like if you could do that in a restaurant as well, that'd be a great like facet to the business. But then you don't want people. I've been to certain places before that do that, and the door keeps opening, and you get a bit cold and stuff like that. You want to find somewhere that has maybe a side door or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, like something like that.
Yeah. And then would you go into London, do you think?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people coming from London every day, all corners.
Well,
of
we
London.
came from Canary Wharf, and we came. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Is you've had so many people you've turned away. What's the furthest someone's come?
Like, most weeks there'll be someone from New York, Canada. One time I had 2 people come from Connecticut in the space of 40 minutes that didn't know each other. It blew, like things that is blow my mind. Usually I call it pizza tourists. They usually come on mainly on a Sunday. I don't know. We seem to have loads, but yeah, I don't know. People from all over Europe, but they'll be in the country mainly. There might be someone that's they're staying with family and they've heard about it. They have to come. And they'll turn up. But people a lot of time from Scotland, Manchester, stuff like that.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, Bristol,
And
Wales.
How did you? I want to go back to something we were talking about at the beginning, but that guy Colin, and the history and kind of some of the key moments that happened in like the kind of the cultural explosion of pizza in the US and New Haven. Like, what were some of those things that happened?
Well, I guess they're finding what they had around them, so the ovens and stuff like that, using them. I don't know. Becoming marketing geniuses. Frank Pepe in New Haven, he was like a marketing genius.
How was he a marketing genius?
He started like a very small, a bit like. Have you ever seen the film The Founder?
Yes,
Brilliant film.
Yeah. With Ray Kroc, who did McDonald's. Yeah,
with McDonald's was like huge, but he had those sort of ideas.
Yeah.
Right on a very small scale. Like but because hamburgers were so Americanized back then, that McDonald's went crazy. But then I guess Pizza Hut done a similar thing. But what I'm saying is, Frank Pepe was doing like that sort of marketing, but just within New Haven. There's loads of like ads in like the Yellow Pages, things like that. He had photo shoots of himself, all dressed in white with the top hat and the pizza and stuff like that. And he was just doing it for his local community. But he had the right idea. So I guess there's things like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in Pizza Hut and how they went. Although I guess if there was a documentary made about it, I have actually seen stuff on YouTube about it. So I guess I am, but.
I have just discovered a secret weapon. Please don't tell anyone. This secret weapon helps you get listed, stay listed, and most importantly, grow. This secret weapon is being used by absolutely banging brands like Bold Bean Co., Perfect Head, Neat, Trip, and Cheeky Panda. No wonder they're absolutely smashing it. But look, are you ready to get your mitts on this secret weapon and absolutely smash it too? I am so thrilled to announce our brand new podcast partner, North Star. What is North Star, I hear you thinking? North Star is a monthly subscription to an online platform giving you access to category data, category insights, anytime, any place, anywhere. It's basically the Netflix for challenger brands. It levels the playing field. Why do you need category data? Well, the first thing is making your pitch speak the buyers and retailers' language is so important. It's going to help you unlock more listings, unlock deeper distribution with existing clients, back the right NPD, and actually understand how your competition is performing. But the even better news, are you ready to rock and roll at your next range review? You no longer need to hire a full-time category manager. Instead, just parachute in North Star when your next Waitrose, Sainsbury's or Tesco range reviews coming up. They're your outsourced in-house partner. Save money. Their team will come in. They'll help you prep, plan and smash your next range review. I'm so excited to be partnering with North Star. Check them out in the episode description below. Delighted to announce the extension of our partnership with the wonderful Billy and Paul from Mackenzie Jones, but even more exciting, they have just launched a brand new brand as part of Mackenzie Jones called MKJ Ignite. MKJ Ignite is a recruitment firm which specialises full shebang, focus entirely on challenge brand space. They work with some incredible brands, Lucky Saint, Good Rays, Purdy and Fig, Hunt and Gather and Real Superfoods. They can support with your hiring needs across all levels, top to bottom, junior entry-level jobs, all the way through up to MD and CEO level. So if you're looking for a field sales stomper, a sales wizard, an ops guru, a supply chain sensei, you name it, MKJ Ignite can help you out. And look, if you're looking to wet your whistle, ignite your curiosity, then check out the poddy we recorded with them back in July. Laden with wisdom, all about like do's and don'ts of hiring and like how to create the perfect job description. You will love it.
For me, yeah, I just the way it sort of spread around the East Coast, so like New Haven, New York, stuff like that, Boston, and it was just just using what they had.
What I find, so there's so many different types of slices of pizza.
Yeah.
So you've got maybe you can help me out on this,
Oh,
mate.
okay.
So you've got go for it. Yeah.
So you got So New Haven and New York pizza is quite similar. The old school stuff.
So that's really thin, isn't
really
it?
thin, big slices and stuff like that. And you've got New Jersey and stuff like that. It's all quite similar, except New York evolved to be more utility sort of style in the 50s to 70s and stuff like that.
So when you say utility style, like...
You know, not as much character on the pizza, more perfect looking.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know, the old school ones, they're like Lombardis and they're closer to what they've got in New Haven and stuff like that. Although New Haven is known for its real char, sort of almost. Some people will say it's burnt, but my pizza has that characteristic as well. You know?
It's banging. Yeah.
I know a lot do. A lot of people around here, like in England now, are like going for that sort of look as well. But I guess then you've got like Detroit style pizza.
That's thick.
Yeah, it's like a pan pizza.
Yeah.
Square. It's a bit like. You remember in the 90s, I know you're probably too young, but like Pizza Hut weren't bad then. Or from what my nostalgic memories of Pizza Hut were better. It's a bit like what Pizza Hut should be. You know, it's a bit thicker. It's got more of a herbaceous sauce. Cheese all the way to the edge, but it's in a square pan. But it's a way better quality version.
So Detroit. So I interviewed this DJ he's plays in Ibiza all the time, lived in Detroit actually, but he's got a food blog, that's why we ended up talking. But he was basically saying Detroit is where house music started, or techno started, it's where Motown started, and it's like this really deprived area, notoriously kind of just incredibly poor, massive like racial divides, but then it's created some of the most amazing things in the world.
House music was the end of disco era, wasn't it, when they just started looping it over.
It was then also the Ford factory was there, so Ford came from Detroit.
Well, they started making the pizza in the blue steel pans. And I think they came out of either the Ford factory or one of the car factories. They had these blue steel pans where they kept nuts and bolts in.
And that's why but why? So why do you think why is it thicker? The crust, the base?
Well, you've got in New York, you've got Grandma or Sicilian pizza. Have you ever seen the ones the square? They call it a square slice.
Is that Princess Street?
Prince Street is one of the more famous versions of that. Yeah.
That's banging.
It's a version of that.
Yeah.
It's a version of that, but it's just a version of that. I guess the Detroit style. Yeah.
And it's just that's thicker because of the.
They're using more dough. It's like a focaccia.
Yes. Have you been to Ramona in Manchester?
No, I haven't. No,
mate, that's banging. I did a through a sort of party there for the podcast.
Oh, really?
Up in Manchester, yeah. We did an event with the co-op and loads of the brands came. But I've been there twice. It's fucking good. It's not, completely different to your kind of pizza, but it is really good. So you've got that, and then you've got those East Coast. What other styles?
You got the Sicilian or the grandma squares, like. But you got that in most New York pizzerias will do a round pizza, like pepperoni, margherita, white pie, and they'll do maybe a grandma or a Sicilian as well.
And then when you go across other like parts of the country, what are there any other slices?
Oh yeah, they got like in New Jersey they have tomato pies, which is similar to the old school coal oven where they put the sauce on top. Because a lot of the old coal oven places, it's got like a dry heat, so they would put cheese on, and then they put the sauce on top. We used to do it like that. I used to do it like that when I first started, and I just changed. But it was just something I experimented with.
Wait, so what did you do? So you put the...
So at the moment we've got, you get your pizza base, you put your sauce on, and then you put your cheese.
Yeah.
But if you can do it upside down, so you put the cheese on and then dollop the sauce on top. And they started doing that in the coal ovens because it stopped the cheese burning. It protected the cheese, and it's an old coal oven thing.
What does it change the way it tastes?
Yeah, it's great. You get more pools of sauce. Yeah, and you get and sometimes it can make the pizza, if you get the balance right, the pizza might come out crispier. Sometimes if you put too much sauce on, you got to get it right.
Then you got Chicago pizza. What's that?
Chicago, never had Chicago pizza, but
because I just remember, I know they're horribly bad, but those Chicago towns as a kid are fucking banging. They are they're so not good. But when I'm hungover, just whack 2 of them in the oven. From what eggs were crispy, banging.
From what I know, a Chicago pizza, the deep dish one, it's almost like a pastry base, and it's filled. They call it a casserole, something like in the New Yorkers they it's a casserole, but apparently it's a bit of a tourist thing.
Oh, really?
So the real Chicago people, the real locals, apparently eat bar pies, or tavern pies. So basically, it's like a thin crust pizza, sauce to the edge that's cut in squares. I've never had one of them either, but to me they look like a frozen pizza. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
they look a bit suspect to me.
Is there any other like weird pizza places? Like as in other, is there an LA type of pizza?
LA, I think has a bit of everything. I think they tend to do more healthy. I think the barbecue chicken pizza. I think that was invented in LA and stuff like that. But I whenever I've been to LA, I've always eaten I've been going for like the tacos or the burgers, but never had pizza in LA.
Have you had In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
What's it saying? Because I was asking.
Have you never been?
Mate, I don't think I've ever been there. No.
I think it's overrated, to be honest.
Really?
I think maybe Shake Shack might be better.
Shake Shack's
Yeah. In-N-Out, it's got something about it. I mean, when you're in California, like the vegetables at night, like the lettuce tastes good. They have really good produce there. So yeah. I mean, it does work. The chips are a bit hard, but yeah. No, there's a place in LA I like called the Apple Pan.
Apple Pan.
Apple Pan. Yeah, and it's like an old. Like a counter where you sit at the counter and they just serve, like if you order ketchup, they squeeze it out for you and give it to you, and they only do like 2 burgers, apple pie, and maybe a tuna sandwich or something, tuna melt or something like that. Like I can't remember, but that was really good. And the reason whenever I go to places, I always do like research, So when I knew I was going to Los Angeles, and I thought, what was that place I heard about once? And it was called the Apple Pan. And it was, do you remember Beverly Hills 90210?
You're putting out all these old films, son.
Well, there's 2. There's one that was probably your age group, but there was one that was out in the 90s. And I remember watching it, and they were in this place, the Apple Pan. It was an old diner, and I was like, we don't have places like that, And it stuck in my head. So when I was doing my research for LA, I saw it. I was like, it's a real place. So I had to go there, And that was that was way better than In-N-Out Burger.
I went to Bush. I stayed in Bushwick with my mate last year, and went to a place called Rolo's, which has been on. It's like, mate,
rings a bell.
It's like, mate, hands down the best burger I've ever had.
Really?
What? Yeah. No, they're not even joking. So you sit at the bar. I went before I got on the plane, and the burger comes like a massive pickle.
Yeah, I love it when they have
a
pickle on the side. Yeah.
And I was just like. And then they come with these chips with it sounds fucking disgusting, but this peanut sauce.
Really, like a satay?
Yeah, like a satay sauce on these big thick cut chips.
Oh wow, that sounds.
And he was like to me, mate, you've got to go to this Rolo's place. I was like, whatever. And then anyway, I think it's either Munchies or Eater. They do like the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, Chef's Night Out.
Yeah, it's not the chefs. But that's I want to talk to you about that. But the
we should do one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll just take this. But the I can't remember what it is, but they went into it. It's like they're carrying these massive fucking cows, or like downstairs all the beef and stuff, and the way they makes the burger, and they went into all of this stuff about how they produce it. But the burger was just insane. Would you say? What do you think? How do you think the food is different, and or do you? Yeah, what's better about the food in New York, and what's worse versus London?
I don't know. They know how to do a burger. Do you know what? I've had it with smash burgers. I don't
This is what Stu from Blackbird Burgers is saying.
I'm not mad on smash burgers. Like, what's that one? There's the new one in Soho. It's all right, but like in New York, they've got a lot of smash burgers in New York, but there's a lot of old ones. There's one called Joe Jr. and I love it. It's this diner, and the burger's about that thick, proper crust on it, served pink. Like juice, when you bite into it, the juice that falls out of it, it's just so a bit like there's Red Hook Tavern, which is a new one, I haven't had that, but it's meant to be amazing. But this is like one of the originals, probably what these places were inspired by.
And how does it do it? Just bun. So what's
cheese, American cheese bun, pickle, big pickle on the side, and then they call it a deluxe. Comes with lettuce, tomato, and onion, and fries. The fries aren't nothing to scream about, but the burger's just amazing. It comes in a squishy bun. Like you got brioche buns and all that. And Martin's potato rolls and all that. Their bun is just it's a bit like a Five Guys bun. Yeah, which I do like those buns. And it's just an amazing burger, Joe Jr. Yeah, and. But yeah, and then there's another one called the Brindle Room in New York, which is really good. It's quite underrated as well. A lot of people know about it, but it's another underrated one. It doesn't have the following that Red Hook Tavern has and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know.
What are some of the
all right, so the difference is.
Yeah, go on.
I think Black Bear Burger is the best in London. I would like to see them all a little bit thicker though, just a little bit thicker. So it's more like. It gets that little bit more juicy, a little bit more pink.
As in Black Bear?
Yeah. Well, all of the... there was one called Stokey Bears. It went about 5 years ago, just disappeared. And that was thicker. Yeah. And it was amazing. You'd go in... It was in Dalston, or between Stoke Newton and Dalston. And you go in there, it was a bit of a greasy place. Like the floor was a bit sticky in that.
Yeah.
But the burger was just unbelievable. And I don't know what... Like one time I went in there, he had like a hairdresser's in the back. Like
that's jokes.
Yeah, it was a bit but it was. I'd love him to come back. Like the guy, I don't know the guy who did it, but I know people that know him, and they said he just decided to call it quits. But his was my favourite. And then now Black Bear came around. I think that's the best.
Mate, well, the wings they do, because I was talking to Stu about his sides. So in the Canary Wharf site, they just do the main burger. They do like 3 burgers.
How many have they got now?
They've got 5. It says 5.5.
Oh really?
Yeah. But so the half is like the what's it called? It's in like market halls. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not in the main. It's not its own restaurant basically. Yeah. But he was saying he was famous for the sides. I had the maple sriracha chicken wings.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely banging.
I can't remember
super
what
crispy.
Size I went to last time I went was in Brixton.
Yeah. And then what are some of the weird kind of, we talked about, was it Joe's, what was it called?
Joe Jr.
Joe Jr. Yeah. What are some of the weird pizza places on your trip to New York that you found? Like, how are they doing things that you went in there and you were like,
well, you've got the classic ones that keep it really strict. Like I said, they have they have a margarita or white pie, pepperoni.
That's it.
A couple of grandmas. Some of them are doing like buffalo chicken.
On a pizza?
Barbecue chicken, and I would never eat those ones. Ziti pizza with pasta on it and stuff like that. That one looks all right, to be honest.
Wait, is it like a pizza with pasta?
Baked ziti, yeah. So it's got like a pizza with like penny pasta on it and cheese melted.
Oh yeah, that'd be fair. If you're proper hangry, that sounds absolutely banging. Yeah.
Those ones, I just look at them. I don't eat them, But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really do like pineapple on pizza, or people come and asking for chicken, and we don't do it. We've only got 7 pizzas on the menu.
Yeah, what have you experimented with that's never got onto the menu? Like, what's the furthest you've pushed the boat out?
we have a few off-menu items that everyone wants them.
What are they?
Vodka. Did you have that? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't have that.
Vodka sauce, which everyone wants. I've done it for I started doing it for content creators. They'd come in and say, "Make us something a bit different, Tom." And I'd do it. and that's everyone's favourite. But we just don't. When we get to the next place, we'll be doing that. That'll be on the menu all the time. Done the lasagna pizza, so it's like a white base, which is like ricotta cream base, and with ragu on it, and like garlic butter around the crust.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sounds so
yeah,
good, mate.
but it's too much. It's too much prep for this sort of shop. I find there's not enough space for it. So, yeah, but people are asking for that all the time. We've done that we done a collab a few months ago with Forno Bakery in Cambridge Heath.
Yeah.
Really cool bakery, and we done the lasagna pizza. We done just a classic margarita. We didn't do the vodka pizza. We done a penny vodka because they make their own pasta. So they made their own pasta, the fresh pasta. We done the penny vodka sauce, and we done a mussel pie. So in New Haven, they're famous for the clam pie.
Clam pie.
Yeah, they shuck fresh clams onto a pizza. It's a bit like a really, really like amped up garlic bread with clams on it.
So what, they take the clams out of the shell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There might be little clams, or there be big ones that they chop up.
Like mussels as well, yeah.
Yeah,
That
no, just
sounds-
clams. We can't get good clams here. Get cockles and stuff like that, but you can't. I've asked fishmonger, can you get me big clams that are all shucked? And it's like they just don't seem to do it. So what we did was we cooked a load of mussels in white wine.
Ooh, yeah.
And garlic, and then we plucked them all, and then we just prepped loads of garlic, loads of garlic oil, loads of chili, loads of parsley, and we just assembled pizzas with mussels, garlic oil, parsley, and stuff like that. And cooked it, and we served that at the collab, and everyone loved that one. So it's like our version of.
Yeah, I've never had that. Mussels on a pizza,
Yeah.
like on a pizza, sounds absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you have cheese on it?
We put a little bit of parmesan and a little bit of mozzarella, but they don't in New Haven, they don't.
Yeah.
They put a bit of parmesan on it, but
And why did New Haven become such a like little hotspot in the whole of the world for?
it was unknown. No, it was relatively unknown. New York gets all the press, doesn't it? Gets all the hype.
Yeah.
It's only I think it's only really the people in the know up until the pizza show on Munchies. That sort of, I think that might have really give it the real exposure it deserved, you know. And then Colin with his book and his documentary. I'm trying to think of some of the famous people that are on his documentary that are like that, you know, like Frank Sinatra and people that used to go to Sally's and stuff like that in New Haven, like in the 50s and 60s. I think Barack Obama maybe went to uni there, and he was a regular there. So you know,
Oh, because that's where is it Stanford's near
No,
New
it's,
Haven? Was it Harvard?
it's either Yale or Harvard. It's one of
Well, yeah.
both.
Yale or
Yeah.
Harvard's near Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, it's in New Haven. It's in the town of New Haven.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So the what else I want to talk to you about how like you and Carl at Crisp. As I said, I think you're opposite sides of London. Well, he's basically opposite sides of London, really. How did you become mates, and how are you trying to do your own thing but like not be in competition? Do you know what I mean?
Well, with me and him, it was, I don't know how we got talking, but it was on Instagram. I think like either he saw one of my pizzas that I posted, or I saw one of his. No idea how, and we just started talking, and you know. He doesn't have any. He's not like a guy that posts pictures of himself and stuff like that. So I didn't know who I was talking to, what he looked like, or anything. And we were talking for weeks and weeks and weeks about pizza, and it was like, you know, it's like
What were some of the messages on that exchange?
yeah, talking about like all the stuff that inspired us, things that we like, places we've been to. He'd been to New York. It was like talking to myself.
Yeah.
And then he kept saying, "Come down," and he was doing it in his pub. Actually, before me, because he had like a little wood fire oven. And he was doing it in the Chancellor's pub where he's doing it now, in the back garden. And no one really knew about it, apart from, I'd say, his friends and family, a few locals, and the River Cafes down the road. And I think the River Cafe chefs were like, they knew about it. So it was very under the radar.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, come down. And so I went down, and I was just about a week away from opening up at the pub. And I went down and just sat in the garden with him while he was making pizzas in the garden. Had a go, made a few. So we just like I've got photos on my phone of it, and that was for me. You know, like when I said people come here and they want to get the confidence to do something. That really spurred me on. Even though he made about 30 pizzas, and you know, like it was going to rain, and do you know what I mean? And nothing was, you know, like organised. I was like, you know, this is, I was really excited then for like the week that was coming when I was about to.
And how is your process different to crisp? Because they're definitely different pizzas.
Definitely
I've had both.
People will come in and go, oh, it's like the same sort of pizza, and it's like,
nah, they're different.
Like, if you're really into pizza, give it a few months, you'll look at them again, and then you go, that's nothing like, you know, nothing alike. I don't know. I guess,
like in terms of the actual produced making of it, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's all dough, sauce, and cheese, isn't it? But it's how you execute it.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So he executes it. He puts his sauce on the top, like I was saying. You know, like they do in the old coal oven places and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a different style of pizza. They're both crispy pizzas. They're both, you know, high in ingredients. It's just how you execute it.
Yeah, and how do you approach the, what did you say, dough, tomato, and cheese? Is that what you said? Dough, sauce, and cheese.
Yeah. So
how do you approach that differently versus everyone else? Because the pizza is fucking different.
Yeah, we have different hydrations. So you know, my hydrations might be higher or lower than his.
How does the hydration? What's that? Sorry.
Hydration is the amount of water you put in.
Yeah.
So to the amount of flour. So
Right.
mine is at the moment is 62% hydration. It might go up and down depending on the humidity. So that means 62% of my dough is water. You know, and his is a different hydration to mine. Some people put oil in, some people don't. He might put more, he might put less. He might have a different amount of salt. You know, you can mix your dough. You can give it a bulk fermentation before you ball it up, so it proves once. Or you can use a pre-ferment, what we call like sourdough or poolish or something like that. So there's many variables that are different. I know how he makes his dough. Well, I know roughly. It's not for me to say.
Yeah, of course not. No,
I'm sure a lot of people would like to know.
Of course not. Yeah, don't. You know,
Yeah.
it's not about that. It's more about understanding how.
So that's
you're not competitors. You're collaborators. I think. Was that the right way of saying
definitely not competitors. No, I'm proud of how well he's done. You know.
I suppose
one key thing in both of us is that really excelled us was taste cadets. You know, like SEPA.
Yeah.
People just do nothing. When I was at the pub, I was chatting to them. I reached out to them, and we were talking, and I sent them a pizza kit. They couldn't make it down to the pub.
What year was this?
This was 2020.
Yeah.
Sent them a pizza kit with my sauce, my chili honey, and everything. And I thought, they might post a picture of it, but they made a real fuss of it. They made pizzas. They got their rock box out. They were like having a laugh. I think they even had a live stream and stuff like that. And I got loads of followers from it. And the next day there was people turning up from all over the place and stuff like that. And that really kicked it off for me. That's when people started taking notice, and they're really into their food, obviously, and they love pizza. And then they were like, "Is there anywhere else like this?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "My mate's place, Crisp in Hammersmith. You have to go there." And then they went to his place, and obviously gave him some exposure. And then the ball started rolling for him as well. So, like, I'd say a bit of a catalyst for both of us. It would have happened anyway. You know, he's in a great location. His pizza's amazing. But I think for both of us, that was a good because they represent. They're like us. You know, they're normal people. They're from London, and it's nice to have. That's for me. It's a nice part of my story to say that's where.
Yeah, and also I think culturally, like, people just do nothing. I know it's not the two other guys weren't. Is it Kieran? I don't know the other guy.
Kieran and Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus. I know they weren't. And people just do nothing. But
No.
SEPA, like, that program is the modern day Office. Well,
Yeah.
like it was as funny as the Office. In my
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah,
you know,
it was,
and
yeah.
it had as much of a cultural
Brilliant.
impact 20 years later. You know, versus
Yeah.
I think the Office was the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
in the
Funny
world.
thing about that is people just do not think is I'm a little bit older than they are, just a few years. So like the garage scene was just when it was just sort of like they were like at the end of it, and I was a couple of years right in the thick of it. I was
Wait,
involved. We used to do pirate radio, me and my friends and stuff like that.
That's jokes.
And we know some of the same people. So there's a guy called Neil who was from Watford, who was like used to be a DJ, and then my mate was a DJ, and we were like would be at parties together like rivals, you know, like look, yeah, like oh my mate's better DJ than you. And then this Neil guy, he was their sort of manager. So yeah, so
people just do nothing.
Yeah. So like they really were involved, you know, in the pirate radio scene and stuff like that, you know. And our paths never crossed them, but like the guy who was their manager, me and his path crossed loads. We know each other.
So what were those parties like then, when in the middle of in the mix with that garage scene like?
Yeah, just brilliant. Yeah, well, they were like I went to one school, and then most of my friends went to another school. They were a few years below me, and they all had decks and they all had parties and stuff like that. With my school, no one had parties. Like no one's parents would allow them. But like these sort of people, they always had parties. So we'd just turn up at it. It'd just be house parties, or like a party in a rugby club, and like you know there'd be like everyone would bring their records, DJs, the microphone, you know, would all be MCing and stuff like that. And
so what kind of, because when I was in here, there was a massive eclectic mix of different music. Like what's the sort of song, or what's the kind of sound? I asked some really dumb questions.
Oh, in here, yeah.
Like, what's the best song to make pizza to?
I don't know. My favourite type of music, I'd say, is like new wave, like sort of 80s new wave. So
is that like Giorgio?
Yeah, Giorgio Moroder, Talking Heads, stuff like that.
Oh, Talking Heads are my favourite.
Talk, that sort of stuff. But some of the best playlists we have in here are just old hip hop ones, like obscure East Coast stuff. You know, I'm not talking Biggie or Tupac. I mean, like
because mate, so I definitely introduced you to Stu from Black Burger, because they just played not just East Coast, but they just bang out the old school hip hop.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I am so excited. It feels like Hungary is finally swimming in the big leagues. I can't believe this, it's absolutely mental. But delighted to announce that Big Fish, yes, Big Fish, are partner of the podcast. Perry's been on the podcast 3 times. Listeners absolutely love it. Some of our most downloaded and cherished episodes of all time. But Big Fish are behind literally so many brands in your cupboard, in your weekly shop. Charlie Bigham, Year Valley, Tyrrell's, Clipper Tea, Goo, Rana. I mean, mate, the list is longer than the River Nile. But they also share risk and invest in brands that they really believe are a force for good. They're brands that they believe are going to be the next big thing, like Howder, the snack that gives back. But even more exciting news, Big Fish want to speak to the next wave of small challenger food and drink brands that are destined for big things, the racconteurs, the movers, shakers, buccaneering visionaries. So look, if you want to speak to Big Fish and just have a chat, get your brand in front of them, then drop me a message. My mate Louis from Local Beer, Amazing Beer, was in their office, aka La Fish Bowl, last week, chatting to Perry, Freddie and the Big Fish crew. So drop me a message if you would like to speak to them. Boisterous, our beloved sponsor, are helping build the fastest growing challenger food and drink brands. Look, if you're a small brand just starting out and need your first indie stockist, your first 100 stockists to wholesale, Boisterous are the platform to categorically speed that up. But if you're a big brand wanting to get bigger, Boisterous are also insane. They make field sales marble smooth, silky slick. They're just epic. Ollie's been on this podcast twice actually. They saw a 29% uplift in sales when using Boisterous to check major malt listings availability. Insane. 29% uplift by downloading an app. Insane. Lucky Saint, my boy Aaron Duff, who's coming on this podcast in a couple of weeks, he uses it to manage a team of 30 people, and Lucky Saint have unlocked 500 draft listings by using Boisterous. Look, you've got to get involved with this stuff. It's absolutely insane, and it will categorically change your life. It's just the sickest platform. I use it all the time at Islands.
Like that, like what are some of the weird, obscure hip-hop bands or artists you play? Yeah, what's the best music?
I don't know the names of half of these people. Like I've got these playlists, I listen to them and I think, wow, these are like unsung heroes. And you look at them, you don't know who they are. They're not like, you know, like the most famous of that time would be like Nas, the Illmatic album. You know, I love that album. But like, there's stuff that's as good as that, and you know,
yeah, Nas is amazing.
Sinister Voices, and I can't think of much of their names.
The Talking Heads are really interesting, and I think there's a bit of a parallel to the way you apply pizza, right? Because have you ever been to Warehouse Project in Manchester?
No, I haven't.
So I interviewed the founder of that Sasha the other week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. we talk about how Manchester kind of exploded in the 80s.
Yeah.
He's basically saying what happened is had Happy Mondays,
Hacienda.
Happy Mondays, Hacienda. What was the other one? New Order, Joy Division.
Yeah.
That's back. It basically saying what happened is rock, dance music kind of merged with like rock music.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what Talking Heads is. It's
I think like looking back at Happy Mondays, they were well ahead of their time. I think.
Mate, they're the most underrated brand.
Yeah.
I think because people think of is it Bez on like
and their hits, but there's some of their stuff was
but mate, there's
Black
that Hallelujah song.
Yeah, Hallelujah, yeah.
That's a tune, mate.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Tune.
Just the drum roll. And
Yeah. That's people. I don't think people think about how good that song is.
That is good, yeah.
But I think they're actually right up there with the Talking Heads. Talking Heads get more of a.
I love Talking Heads.
But what the. Have you seen the video of the guy from Talking Heads being like swaying
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
He's a G.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Absolute G. But where I'm going with this, I go very.
David Byrne.
Yes.
He's Scottish. He moved to New York. Apparently, if you're in New York and you're like on the west side, you see him on his bike and stuff like that a lot.
Oh really?
I've never seen him, but like, I always look. Do you know what I've seen though? Twice in New York, Kevin Bacon, and both times was in a subway station, just like on separate occasions.
That's so random.
Yeah. And I see him in London as well once. I've seen him about 3 times.
Maybe you need to do
Just- and I'm always
Kevin
just-
Bacon
oh,
pizza, mate. But yeah, sorry. Talking Heads, they fuse two things together to create this completely new thing. Same with Happy Mondays, rock and funk, rock and punk, and rock and dance music. Hacienda.
Orange juice as well. I like orange. Do you know orange juice?
Yes. So they were I think they were the inspiration for Happy Mondays.
Were they?
I think so, because I did a research on that.
Edwyn Collins. You know he done.
Yeah.
Girl Like You. Never known a girl.
Yeah, that's an absolute such.
He
good
played
song.
there's a bar down in Harrow called Trinity, where we used to I used to DJ there and stuff like that. And one and the owners and that they know a few people in the music industry and stuff like that. And there was always good promoters there bringing people there. And one time Edwyn Collins came.
Yes.
And done like a set at Halloween. It was brilliant.
That's so random, mate. Yes, but I think what you're doing with your pizzas, you're taking kind of the old school, if you like, what Talking Heads were doing, what Happy Mondays were doing, was taking the rock. Right?
Yeah.
You were taking these old school 5 pizza shops with their way of doing things, and then you've got this whole new way, which is almost like the dance part. Which do you know what I mean? You and Carl are doing. As I said, you've reinvented fucking pizza, in my opinion, between the two stores.
Well, a lot of people are saying now, London. What's London pizza like? Is it because you got New York pizza, New Haven pizza? Is London pizza a thing?
That's really interesting. What would you? So say you were to define.
I would say it is.
I think you and Carl, between the two of you, have the right to define what London pizza is. How would you define it versus New York?
I would say it's inspired by New York. That's the thing, though. It is, but it's definitely crispy. It's bigger than a Neapolitan pizza. It's cut into slices. It's foldable. It's similar to a New York, but it's more artisanal. I would say.
Artisanal.
Well, like the dough's more had a bit more of an artisanal method. I don't know.
No.
No, we might be using better cheese, nice olive oil, finishing it with some nice grana padano, snipping some basil on it or something like that.
Yeah, how important is the basil? Because that's what I really liked.
Yeah.
Like, what does the basil do to the pizza, in your opinion? Because not every place whacks it. But
No.
Whereas I love basil as a thing.
The basil thing came about from the Farah in New York. He was doing it.
Who?
The Farah. Like
Don't know
it's
who
a
that is.
famous place in New York that the guy Dom DeMarco was the only guy who made the pizza for about 40 years. And that was like I always thought to myself, that's what I want to be like. Like I said, a romantic idea, but it's not a reality. It's like, and also I didn't have a business plan, and I didn't realise that you'd only be able to make a certain amount of pizzas a night on your own, and you're never going to make enough money you'd be breaking even. I didn't think of it as a business before. It definitely was just passion. But now I have responsibilities. I've got bills to pay. I've got staff to pay. So I have to look at it as a business now, which sucks really.
Yeah. Yeah. The fun.
Yeah.
The fun's been.
Yeah. There's still fun to be had. There's still fun every day, but
How do you keep the fun in the team, like when it's getting busy and stressed? Like, because it's when I came in here, it's like felt like there's a real camaraderie, like a real kind of
just having a good team, you know. Yeah, like, I don't like people that are too serious. I don't really get on with awkward people very well. I like people that can, you know, like at first it's probably like they probably have to laugh at my bad jokes and stuff like that, you know. But now we've got our own, we laugh at, you know, we've got private jokes, in jokes. We've got, you know, you develop a sort of work mentality, a work sense of humour. And then every time we get a new staff member, they always bring us something fresh. You know, our new guy, James, well, he's not new, he's been here ages now, but when he first came, it was like, it lifted everyone's spirits because they've probably been hearing me moan for so long about just mundane stuff that, you know, all everyone else is like, you know, and he's bringing new jokes to the table and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just like that, I guess.
Yeah. So one thing you said at the beginning earlier was like, I'm known as not known, but a lot of people think of me as the cranky pizza geezer.
Yeah.
Which I think is jokes.
Yeah.
But like, how is that like? Is that because you're stressed under the cosh? Like,
No, I'll tell people how it is.
that's what it is. That's
right.
what
I'll get someone who'll turn up here, and I can see they're a pizza tourist, you know, and they'll come in and they'll start talking about Crisp W6 or another pizza place or something like that. And I think, they're coming to compare. They're coming to compare me, right? Now, this person may or may not have told us that. Basically, the way we do it is, you if you're eating in, let us know. We won't make the pizza until you sat down. You'll get the best version of it. If you're coming from miles away and you don't tell us you're eating in, your pizza will get made for the time you've ordered it. Now, if you turn up 20 minutes late, your pizza's sitting in a box for 20 minutes. And if I hear you say, we just went to Crisp W6 yesterday, I'm going to be mad because I'm like, this pizza ain't going to be, you're not getting the real Vincenzo's.
That's so interesting.
And I will be cranky then.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a defiance of like, this is the
Yeah.
product.
No, and
have you ever because I'm not going to say who it is, but there's this food influencer who went in on a chef I know. I'll tell you afterwards. And I was like, mate, you've never been in a kitchen, and he just slags off places. I'm like, who the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, mate, stop doing that.
I just laugh at people like that. You know, there's some people think they can judge and
I'm like, mate, you've never been in a kitchen in your life.
They don't know what it's like, you know, like and what we have to go through and things we have to do to just to get the place ready, you know, and the pitfalls that come with making pizza and stuff like that.
What
are
the pitfalls?
Well, like if a drop of sauce goes on the pizza peel, you don't know how to clean it up quickly and efficiently without, you know, getting it wrong. That's going to cause a chaos. That pizza's ruined. The next 10 pizzas are ruined because you don't know how to, you know, stop, compose yourself and stuff like that. And that's what you'll have to teach people when you're training them.
How have you personally dealt with when people come in like we're coming in and they compare Vincenzo's to somewhere else?
If people come in and they and they let us know they're eating here and stuff like that, eating in and they get the best version, then, you know, they always love it. But people say it's amazing anyway. But I mean, I'm managing expectations. Is what I'm doing.
Yes.
You know, I hate that. That's draining. You know, people come here, they're expecting, they've heard of it, it's hyped, they've heard all about it, but they turn up 20 minutes late and their pizza's in a box. How can I manage those expectations? It's not going to be the same version. So I'm always telling people on Instagram, if you're coming from far, if you're coming from London or wherever, please let us know. Leave a note that you're eating in. We will not make the pizza until you're here. You know, because you might order it for 6:20, but you might turn up at 6:30, you know?
Yes.
And it'll be ready 10 minutes and it ain't going to be the same.
What is the system like to get the pizza flowing through? Like, as in, because, I mean, like right now in front of me, there's like 20 boxes stacked up. Like, what's the flow like? So you got dough. Like, does that...
How do you make a pizza?
So that one, I suppose, is the first question. But then how do you do it when you're trying to do it at such a fucking pace?
Everything's done in a production line. So
what's the production line?
Right, if I had 7 pizzas to make,
I
made one margarita, fully made it.
Yeah.
Then made the other one. Then made the... By the time I made the 7th, that one stuck to the pizza, stuck to the table. You'll never get it off. It's ruined. So everything... So what you do is you get the 7 dough balls out. You give them all the first press, then you give them all the second press, then you open them up properly, then you sort, and you don't put the sauce on and do that. You dollop. Everything's done in the production line.
Yeah.
So it's all ready at the same time. It's all the same quality, and that's what you have to teach your staff.
What are the things that can most fuck up that production line?
Yeah, something like being sloppy, or like someone asking you something, getting distracted. You might, something might. Yeah, like anything can happen, but then you've got to know how to compose yourself. If say I've got 5 pizzas on there, and they're all about to go in the oven, and I know one of them's going to give me grief, it's going to be stuck, I'll leave that one till last. That you'll get all the others in, and then you think, right, this one's going to be a bastard, but
Why do you leave it to last?
Because it's going to give you grief.
Oh, so at least you got 6 out the door.
You get 6 out of the way, and you can concentrate. Right, now I know what I need to do with that one. But what I used to do, the first time I done it, I was like, trying to get it.
And then all those stress.
Yeah. And I know from experience that you have to do that. Now, when I'm training a new staff member, I'm like, whoa, do that. Leave that one till last. Forget about that one. Get those ones in. We'll deal with that one, and then I'll show you how to deal with that one.
Are there any other things about running a pizzeria that like people, just most punters wouldn't think about? Like, what are some of the other really hard things you got to do? Or...
Prep. People think that we open at 4:15, and I get here at 4:15. And just start making pizzas that are magically.
What time do you?
The fairies make the dough or something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
What time do you get here?
I used to get here at about 9 in the morning, but now I've got people that make my dough, people that make the sauce, people that clean, people that do all that sort of stuff. Then I used to get. We take pre-orders from 2 every day, but we open at 4. So I have to be here. Someone has to be here when those orders come flying in. They come in through the ticket machine. And
so it all goes through store kit.
Yeah. We have to shut that off before we sell out. Say we've got 200 pizzas, we have to go. Say that the ticket comes with 4 pizzas, and we do it manually, and we shut the website off just before we sell out. Sometimes there's so many backlog that they just keep coming, and we've had times where we've oversold 40 pizzas that don't exist.
What's that
The refund, it's horrible. You have to refund people. You have to call them up, and then by the time you've dealt with all that, you haven't prepped properly. It's the demand is just crazy.
It's a great problem to have. And then what is in terms
stressful?
Yeah, I can imagine. How do you? Because I get stressed a lot. I suppose I'm asking this selfishly. Like, how do you deal with stress? Because also, mate, the reason I'm like, I've got so much respect for you, mate. Because you're doing this on like fucking 3 hours sleep.
Yeah,
mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a massive stress head, but I'm good. I can block things out as well. Like, I guess I bury my head in the sand, but don't know. Don't know. Things don't faze me that much. If something goes wrong, like the other night we had a power cut, and a part of me felt like sick and this is the end of the world. But then I just kept moving, just kept getting like there was about 5 pizzas in the oven. Power went, but there's still residual heat. I just said to the guys, keep an eye on them pizzas. They're gonna cook. They're gonna finish cooking in the oven. Get them in the box. Get them to the customer. But then there were still maybe 5 customers with big orders that were turning up. And we were like, we had to refund them. We're doing it in the dark. We're finishing balling up for tomorrow. The fridges have all gone off, you know. It was boiling hot. It was like, you know, if I can't get an electrician out to sort this out now, the rest of the weekend's screwed. Thousands of pounds worth of ingredients are going to go in the bin, you know. So I don't know how I dealt with that stress. I just got on the phone, got my electrician down.
I asked this to a lot of guests who come on the podcast, but I believe like super driven people have like some, and for me personally, like I used to be like basically told I was shit at school. I was a fat little fuck at school, right? So I've always, and everybody was like, people were like, you're not going to do anything. So I'm now so fucking driven to like, I don't know how healthy it is. It's like to prove people wrong, basically. And everyone I've spoken to hundreds of people, spoken to Stu about it at Black Bear Burger. They've all got some sort of either insecurity or something that's told put them back, that gave them this drive. I'd love to know what that is for you.
I've always been lucky. I've always had people around me tell me, you're so talented, Tom. You know, like everyone always says, you should. Like, so no, whenever I come up with an idea, people have always backed me and told me to do it, I guess. My parents are quite careful people, but they're very supportive. But then my dad would, like, when I was getting the oven, he was like, "You sure you need an oven that big or that's that expensive, Tom?" And I was like, "Yes, Dad." Like, and as it happens, an E1 is twice as big and twice as expensive. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'm glad I listened to myself and didn't listen to even though they're coming from the right intentions, you know.
How does someone says?
But at the same time, they were like, "Come on, you got to do this, Tom." They wanted me to do it, but they just wondered, was I biting off more than I can chew? And in fact, I could have done with 4 times the premises, you know.
What's the say someone's trying to list? You said I'm really good at listening to myself. Like that's not an easy thing to do. And there'll be loads of people like say they want to set up a tacos place, and they've got their mum or dad saying to them like, "Nah, mate, don't bother doing that."
Yeah.
Like how does one listen to themselves?
You got to. I think you got to go with your gut. Go with your gut. I've got a friend who comes down here. Who's got a pizza place somewhere else in the country. He comes down here.
Do you know the patio bloke?
Yeah, patio. Yeah.
That's near me, Kingston.
Yeah. Alid. Yeah. He's a legend.
What's his name? Sorry.
Alid.
I literally just been in. Yeah, sorry. It's not him though.
He's No, it's not him. No, his pizza is incredible. He's a friend, and he's got a lovely brand, and he's got a great story actually because his dad owns the pizza shop next door.
Yeah.
And it's a very
It's like Pizza Go-Go.
Yeah, what you call a boss man pizza shop.
Yeah.
And then I think his dad's gave him a bit of the shop, and he's got his shop, which is like super artisanal.
Mate, I went in
like
there.
one of the best pizzas in the country, you know.
Yeah, sorry. So you were saying about your mate.
Oh yeah, another guy. He came down and he was like, "Tom, I'm really looking forward to starting. What do I do?" Like he was doing a pop up, and he was like, and he said, "Oh, like my mum says don't buy. You don't need to spend that much on an oven." And I said, your mum means well, but listen to your heart, listen to your gut. I said, I know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I said, my advice to you: find a pub, build it up in a pub, and then find. Because you kept going, I want to get a shop. I said, shops don't always succeed for everyone.
Why is the pub better than a shop? Less risk.
Less risk. You build up your brand there. You build up your customers. You build up your customer base. You build up the local area. Overheads are less.
Hi guys, super quick one. So excited. Look, for years I've been badgering on about Hungry the podcast. You're probably bored to death. Thanks for putting up with me. But Hungry is also an agency, and we look after one amazing brand called Islands Chocolate. We've had a great time over the year. We've won listings at a load of wholesalers. We've won Milk and More. We've got our first grocery listing coming very soon, which is very sick. But what I'm thrilled to announce is Hungry is merging with HC Consulting. My boy Harry Clark and his wonderful team, he's an absolute G. They do brand strategy, new business and account management. But why I really love working with Harry and why we've got on so well over the last couple of months is Harry was actually the founder of the boozy isolated brand Pops. So he's been in the trenches, he's grafted his face off, he's had the sleepless nights, he's had the turmoil, he's had the triumph, he knows what it is to be a founder, he is a founder. And he's got a proven track record in grocery and out of home. Holy moly dips, the gut stuff, Savile drinks, Remio gelato. So if you're a brand and you're stuck, you're looking for like new business help, you're looking to scale, drop us a message, we'd love to chat. Thank you so much. Back to the old episode.
So you basically, how did you get that deal? So you build them up.
So basically, during lockdown, I was desperate I was doing the pizzas in the garden, making them for friends and family, NHS staff, stuff like that. And then I was
all from that.
From that oven.
Yeah.
And I was saying, and at that point, I just naively thought, I'm going to get a shop. I'm going to find a shop. When I was looking for shops, and I was having trouble with landlords, stuff like that. And then a friend or maybe my girlfriend said, you should try a pub, Tom. And for a pub kitchen maybe that's like got a kitchen that's not being used. I was like, I don't like that idea. Vincenzo's needs to be in a shop, you know, in an old building. And so I thought, all right. And so one day, I walked from all around Watford and knocked on pretty much every pub door, and they were all like, no. The last one I knocked on, the Load of Hay, a guy answered the door and he said, he said, hello. Yeah, he said, it's my mum's pub. Julie runs the pub. I think she'd be interested. And then that day, she sent me an email. He said, give me your details. She'd go and sent me an email. She said, yeah, come and see me.
What did you say to them to like pitch it in there?
Well, I just said, I need, I want to make pizzas. I want to start a business. I really want, would you be interested in? Just said, would you be interested in having me make the pizzas then? And that she just thought, serve food to the pub, give me 10% or whatever. I'll pay me some rent, and yeah, you can do it. And the kitchen was tiny. and she thought the oven was going to be the size of a pizza. Like, she was like, "Yeah, you'll have it." I was like, "It's going to be a bit bigger than that." When I turned up with the oven was like this big, half the size of what I've got now. She was like, "Oh, that's a bit big, Tom. The oven's a bit big." And then the mixer turned up. "Oh, that's a bit big." And in reality, it was tiny. So she was doing the same thing like that my dad was doing, and I nearly like said, "Oh, I'll get a smaller one." You know what I mean, and stuff like that. Because I'm a bit of a people pleaser. But then I thought, no, I've already bought it now.
Well, how are you a people pleaser? Like,
I didn't want her to say change her mind.
I see.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And say,
also,
no,
there's a lot of your dreams in the balance right there. Right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
There's a lot to play for.
And I said, look, no, we need it this big. And then as it happened, within a couple of weeks, I was at capacity there at the pub, and I was selling out, and I couldn't fit any more in, and I couldn't make any more dough, because the mixer was too small and stuff like that. So, and we were selling out in the pub every night, and then I think it got to the point there that she used to do a roast dinners and the pub grub, and I think she just wanted the kitchen back, so I had to leave, unfortunately.
And then would you give her a percentage of the takings? Is that how it works?
Yeah. I used to give her 10%, and then as I started increasing it, I was a bit like 10% is quite a lot. Maybe I'll give you X amount a month, and then, so the deal changed and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because I think more places should do that. Because is the plimp sole, the
I think you've got to make it work for you, the deal, depending on how much you're doing.
Yeah. Is the plimp sole that place in North London that does the burger? Is that the same deal?
It does the burger and the small plates. I have no idea how it works.
Yeah.
I think they started at a pub. I think they might run the pub themselves. Oh. I think they took over the pub, which is probably quite a smart.
Because do you know James Cochran, the chef, James Cochran?
No.
He got 1251. He had a burger place. He's a lovely guy, but he started out doing pop-ups in a pub, and now he's got his own restaurant.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But I think for more people starting out, like you could do there's shitloads of rundown pubs.
Yeah. Pubs that are on
There's
their knees.
shitloads of people wanting to do interesting food.
Yeah.
A few more things, mate, then we'll wrap this up. I'm loving this, Tom. So, you talked about, like, what would be your chef's night out, mate? Like, if you had to take us... Because I just love food, mate. I could talk about it for ages.
I couldn't take it. I'd have to go into London.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would go in.
Well, okay, no, actually, right. If we're going Bushy, we go into that Swan place down there.
Yeah, we're going to Swan.
That's a banging boozer.
Get a cheese toasty. There used to be a fish and chip shop called Codfather 1, and then opposite there was one called Codfather 2. So yeah,
mate, there's a Codfather. There's a Codfather when I went to uni in Manchester. There was a Codfather up there.
Was there?
Jokes, yeah.
Codfather 1 and 2, they were opposite each other. I don't know. We'd have to go into London. We'd go. I don't know. I really like. There's a really good noodle place in near Liverpool Street called Yeah Noodle.
Yeah Noodle.
Yeah Noodle does like these slow cooked beef noodles and amazing dumplings, like juicy dumplings. Not soup dumplings, and they're not quite pot sticker dumplings. They're somewhere in between. So I'd go there.
Is that because you go into Liverpool Street from here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, bang, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite places in London at the moment. I have to go to Crisp W6. I'm trying to think where else. I get full up quite quick.
Really?
But there's some good Turkish places. Mangal 2.
Yeah, been there. That's banging.
Yeah. One of my favourite restaurants in London is Black Axe Mangal. I think Lee Tiernan's a genius.
I've never been there.
It's really good.
That's got a die-hard cult following.
It's tiny in there as well.
How big is?
I don't know. He's sold out every night. I don't know. He could be huge, and I don't know.
And he just keeps it like.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's amazing.
Yeah. What did you have there?
We had schnitzel and potatoes. So we had the flatbread. He does the awful flatbread, which is amazing. So it's got it's a bit like his version of a lapmajoon, but it's really juicy. It's got like testicles and heart and lungs in it, but you wouldn't know. It's amazing. I'm trying to think what else we had. I can't remember what else we had, but it was all amazing. I just know it was great.
Yeah.
Picklebacks. No, you get picklebacks. Picklebacks, the whiskey and pickle juice. He does like a borscht one with
Wait,
with
hang
like
on.
beetroot juice.
Wait, what is that?
A
Sorry?
pickleback is like a shot. You know, you have a shot. Have you ever had a shot of whiskey and a shot of pickle juice?
No.
Yeah, it's like an American thing. But they used to do it at PitQ back in the day. Do you know PitQ?
Yeah.
PitQ was that barbecue place. It was one of the they were one of the pioneers of doing barbecue in England and London. Yeah, they used to do picklebacks, but he does like a borscht back, which is like, well, I think it's vodka and beetroot juice, but it's really good. Yeah.
And what are your? I suppose like what's the? Because you're open Wednesday to. You're basically open. You're working every day. All your mates are kind of out. Could be out. So
Yeah.
how do you deal with the anti-sociability or socialness of running this place?
I just think about what I'm building and what I'm storing, what potential energy and like, you know, like the successes. I guess you just keep thinking. You think about that, it gets you through. I guess thinking, oh, you know, am I building up for the future? What am I going? What can I do? Could I start another one now? Have I managed to do well enough to do that? And I think that sort of thing, you just keep going. But also, you know, I'm not spring chicken anymore. I'm not. I'm not. Well, if I was 25, you know, I'd probably.
Oh, you've got most of it out of the system.
Yeah. I'm on about my night flights, you know. I'm like a cat.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. I guess. Ambition just keeps you going.
And how?
Oh, and also having fun. Like in the shop, we do have a laugh, you know, and as much as I say, you know, I have to tell my life story about 20 times a night. I enjoy it, you know, and most of my customers are amazing. You know, we have some gorgeous customers that come in, and
There we go. Yeah. There's two of them.
How you doing, all right? The people and the support around here. You know, this shop would have been finished months earlier if I didn't speak to every person that walks past, you know. But that also helped with the hype, you know, the local hype. Because
How did you generate the hype?
I'm a show off.
But
someone comes in here and goes, "Oh, these paintings are nice." I have to tell them that I've done them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I made this, and I made this, and I hung the ceiling, and I've done this, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Americans in the UK, we're so like, you know, we're like, oh, be humble, like pessimists.
I'm not humble.
Yeah. But like, there's.
Well, I am, and I'm not.
But showmanship's a great, it's a great skill, and I think more people in the UK could do it. Because that's what the other thing I was going to say is like, how did you generate the hype pre Taste Cadets coming on board? Well, not coming on board, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, local. Yeah, they helped a lot. But before that, doing it on social media, making pizzas, just showing off what I was doing. You know, if I'm making something in my garden, I'll take pictures and videos and put it on my social media. You know, it won't be very well curated, but people will be going asking me, "What are you doing, Tom?" And it just, people. And I guess I know how to get people talking about something just by showing them what I'm doing. Showing off without being flash.
Yes.
You know, like I'm a humble man from humble beginnings, really. But if I'm doing something that I rate, I'm going to show you. You know, and and I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think I've absolutely loved that, mate. We've gone on for ages, but it's been so much fun, and I think it's just so interesting understanding. Like people will get, like I did, the raging hog or a margarita, and they'll taste it, and it will taste fucking banging. It's delicious, yeah. But understanding like the graft, the grit, the story, the hustle, like the pain, the sleepless nights that you've gone through to create that pizza. Like, I'm so grateful you've allowed me to kind of share that with you today, mate.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming.
Wicked.